Welcome back. So in the last lectures, we have seen how to execute GraphQL queries from Postman and also from GraphQL Explorer. So in this lecture, let's see how to run the GraphQL queries using REST assured automation. So typically, if you have knowledge on REST assured automation, then it's just the same way how you have done for your REST API automation. It's nothing different. We do here the same way how we do for REST API calls. Same thing I would apply for GraphQL also. Same given, when, then, and you get the result back. Let's see. So given, so make sure here you set up your project. I am not again focusing on creating project, setting up REST assured library, all that. So right now in this project I have my all REST assured dependencies to execute this GraphQL script. So assuming that you have the basic setup ready, I'm going to show how to run your GraphQL queries using this REST assured Java automation. So let's get started. Let's log everything what we need here. So I would say like this, given log everything. So hover your cursor. Okay, so right now it is not showing any packages because that's a static one. So let me quickly import the packages here. Yeah, so import static. Just because this package is static, it's not giving suggestion, but when you import this package, this error will be gone. So I'm trying to log everything here. So one main thing here is, do we have any headers in place? Okay, so the one best way to automate using REST assured is depend upon this network tab, guys. This is the best way to understand how the calls are being made. So let me delete everything here. So let's say you are hitting this query again to fetch the details. Okay, now here in the response, you get everything, right? Whatever the data you are requesting, you got it. But in the request header, see if there is anything specific you have to mention. So I always recommend to put this content type application JSON. So that means we are telling that we are sending this payload, query payload, as a JSON format. Okay, so that's the basic thing I would request everyone to have it. Header, because that's a header, request header. So what is that header? Content type. Okay, and the value is application/JSON. Cool. So that's all. We don't have anything on given side. Let's switch to the body. Here where you will send your actual query. So one important thing you need to note here, which is different from the way what we are doing until last lecture. See, this is the query, guys. Basically, this is not a JSON, right? This is a GraphQL query. This GraphQL query, we are sending to this endpoint and we are getting the response. Okay. But while you are trying to automate in REST assured expects you to send in the JSON format. But at this moment, this is not in the JSON format. But you know what? Internally, in the backend, when this query is sent, GraphQL middleware will convert this query to JSON and it will receive it. Though you are not seeing it in the front end, right? See, from front end, we are just sending this query. But in the backend, this query will be converted into the JSON format before it talks to the GraphQL. Okay, that backend implementation, that is invisible. We don't need to worry. But problem here is when you are doing through REST assured automation, you have to send it as a JSON format. Okay, now see what happens. If you go to this payload, view source, okay, copy this. See, this is the call made, right? Now let me clear everything. Now when I hit the submit, this is the call made. We all know that. This is the payload. Let's investigate this payload and then you will get clear picture. Go to JSON editor, edit this, and you see here, this is what we have. Query. From here, we started everything, right? See, we started from query. This is what we are sending and we are getting the response back. But while making the call, you see that internally how it is transformed. This is converted into JSON format. You know how all this query is storing in one object here, key value pairs, key and the value, and finally all the variables also, like whatever you used query variables here, those also again wrapped up in one key. See, these are like additional keys we are seeing, right? That means the existing GraphQL query, what you see here, is converted into JSON before it talks to GraphQL. That is what it is happening. And the perfect proof here is this one, right? You came to the network tab and then you are investigating to see how the request went to the GraphQL. And then you realized that, hey, there is something wrapper done based upon this, right? Apart from the existing query, you can easily see that there is something other wrapper. That entire query is stored in this key value. Okay, just one key value extra is added. But we never saw this. We never cared about this wrapper converting into JSON until last lecture, because this GraphQL Explorer, what we are using, will inbuilt taken care of converting that into JSON. Okay, so GraphQL Explorer telling us to just focus on your query, converting that into JSON and sending it to GraphQL, that I will take care. That's what GraphQL is saying. Even Postman is also saying same thing. Okay, so here they have provided us GraphQL editor, right? What Postman also saying is, you give me the query, as a Postman developers, we will convert that into JSON. Convert that into JSON means like this, the format, how it is interested in. It will convert that internally in the backend and then it will send to GraphQL. So that's why until now, with the tools what we have used, which is Postman and GraphQL Explorer, that internal JSON implementation we never taken care of, because that's ultimately those tools took care. But now coming to this REST assured automation, because those are tools, those are developed to do that. But this is a plain script automation, right? This does not have any knowledge about it. It's your duty to convert this query to this JSON and send it, which is already done by these tools previously, but now you have to do it and then pass that converted JSON. Then only REST assured recognizes it and it will execute. Okay, so how to convert it? Don't worry. One simple trick here is, you just open this network tab from your Explorer, hit this and you will get response back, right? Here we have error because item does not exist location. Let me give the known location so we can get the correct response, right? You got a response. Now shortcut way to get that converted JSON is as simple as this. Come to this request call, go to payload, view source, copy this, and that's it. This is your converted JSON. Okay, you can get that from your developer tools and then simply place it here. Over. It's easy, right? So this is how you send your body request. All these additional characters are special characters because we have double quotes inside our payload. So to tell the payload that it is not string, we have given special characters. All that formatting also automatically you will get it from your network tab. So doing it manually is big tedious work, like taking the query. See, what all they are doing is taking the entire query and they were putting in one key variable called query, and taking the entire query variables, and finally they were putting in one variable key. That's all they are doing. But instead of doing this manual conversion, this is a shortcut from the network payload. You can get the entire content and you place it here. That's it. So body is also done. Now what next? Now next is to directly hit the endpoint and get the result. That's it. So dot when, what is your endpoint? You know that this is your endpoint. Okay, so one second. When you are making the post call, with the post call, and here where you will send the endpoint information. Okay. So if you want to put any assertion response, you can do that, or I would collect this entire JSON response in string format. Fine. So then extract dot response. I am extracting the response after the call as string format, so I can store it in one variable called string response equals to, perfect. And for you to see it in the output, I could do system.out.println response, so you can visually see the response in the output. And once you see the response, now in this case a response will look like this. Now you can use either Pojo classes to parse this response or use JSON path, it's up to you. So that all you already know, like how you can parse your JSON response, that I'm not going to stress here. Now let's say you want to just get the name of this guy, maybe we can quickly use JSON path to get that. So let me create JSON path object. Okay, js dot get the string, and let's give the path. So this is the path, start from data character dot name, and then this will be retrieved, right? So data dot character dot name. So even this you can print it in the output if you want, string character name, and then you can put any assertions like assert if verify if the character name is, oops, here is where you got a character name, right? Second, if that equals to Robin for the ID what you have given. Okay, oops, this is a string, a quick assertion for your response. Add argument, yes, we have to send this response inside this. Alright, so let me run this test and see how this goes. This should make a query call with the help of GraphQL. So I logged it, so that's why all the logging details you can see in the output. Perfect, you see your test is passed, no issues, and you can see that how all the logging has done, that this is your request URL, this is the post call, and this is how body is built, and this is the response, Robin, everything just like what you got here, all the response has generated here. And we put assertion here, that's why script is passed, because this exactly retrieved Robin and no issues, fine. So this is how you can work with rest assured for your GraphQL script. The only difference between the other Postman and here is the internal JSON conversion is what rest assured cannot do, that you have to do before you send it in body. For that, shortcut way is open your network tools, and here these guys, when network call is made, that conversion will be happening here. So take that content and put it here, you are good. So similarly you can do it for mutations also. So this is for query, right? Now let me quickly write another test for mutations. But yeah, before that, variables. Now if you see here, variables are already given in the payload itself. If you think that if you want to drive these variables from outside, now let's say here you want to add int character id equals to 14. Okay, assume that you declared here, and sometimes this might get from external sources like test-ng data provider or Excel sheet, whatever it is. So basically this character id 14 what you are getting from external source has to be feeded here, right? So how you do that? So copy this character id here which has a value 14, and you have to replace it where? Here, right? So instead of having the values in your payload, you want to drive it externally. So remove it, end the string here, put plus icon, add that variable, again put concatenation operator and continue the string. Okay, so this is how you can actually replace this value at runtime dynamically. Similarly, you can do for episode ID also. Now this character ID 14 is not present in your payload, right? It is driven from external values. And now you run this test again, it works as usual expected. So this is how you can even drive your query variables from outside of your body, and you can inject it there. You see, it's still showing as 14, though you removed 14 here. It's because you are replacing it with your string. This is one of the cool way to do it. Okay, so you know now how to make a query call, and also you know how to generalize query variables at runtime. So quickly, let's take for mutations also. It's again same story, nothing different. We can reuse a lot of things here. Maybe until here, I will just reuse. So first of all, character ID, let's still put 14 here. We can reuse that. And this is like mutation response. So I would call it as a mutation response. So where do you want to make changes here? This step is same that we are sending JSON file. The only place where you need to make is a body, because endpoint is also same. No matter you are making query or mutations, your endpoint does not change, right? So the body is something will change. See how lightweight GraphQL is. With some simple changes, you can tweak and do anything here. Okay guys, this is your mutation. Fine. Again, same story applies here. That has to be converted into JSON before you use it. So at this point, you might not be knowing what exactly that JSON does. So send this request. Here a payload will be created. Okay. View source, copy this entire thing. And just for your reference, see here how it is coming. Again, same thing. Entire mutation got stored in one query variable, and again variables, it is using this. Okay, similar way. Now get rid of all this body here. So basically entire body has to be in the string. So that's why I put double quotes here and post your body here. Perfect, no change. And that's it. This is a mutation body and GraphQL endpoint, and that's it. And it will get the response, and you can see it in the output. So now if you want to just print the response, you get it here, and you can put assertions also, like whatever you want here. That you can do it, because we already seen one example on how to parse the JSON and put assertion. Similarly, you can repeat for mutations also. Now we again follow this rule that character ID is 14, right? So where is the character ID variable is used here? Here actually there is no character ID. Okay, maybe we can use character name now. Baskin Robin, right? I'll create one character name as another variable. String character name. Okay, what's the error here? Rename character name. Okay, because it's already used. I would call it as a new character, because that's where we are creating. Okay, now carefully replace this instead of hard coding here. Not just this, I am doing this for example to you to show. You can make changes for this location and episode also. So let's actually end this string here. This is tricky. So we will remove all these pieces, total Baskin Robin here, and then we will end this string and put that new character, and again concatenate. Good, this works. All right, so let me run this test again. This time it has to perform query. This should also perform mutations, and you should see the response for both. Okay, let's see. Fingers crossed. Okay, query piece is good, but mutations piece looks like it thrown an internal server error. You see, this is the response you got. Data is null. So I think it's because of some character name change. Let me quickly see here. If you carefully observe, there should be double quotes for string, but in our body when we are sending, there is no double quotes for Baskin Robin. I think that's why it encountered that error. You can investigate your query, what you send. That's why I did log. When you do log, you get the complete information, like what is the body it has to send to GraphQL. Everything you can get it here, right, in the console. So that's how I started investigation. I know why it is wrong. That double quote piece is missing. So what did we do here? Maybe we need to add these things, right? It, before point, there's already there here. So for every double quote, what they did is have a double quote and put one slash. Okay. So similarly, after ends, slash double quotes. Okay. Probably this should fix. Let's check. These are very sensitive, the strings, double quotes, so we have to carefully touch them. Okay, now perfect. Looks like it's created. You see now data we got, create location, everything, and delete locations. Yeah, nothing to delete because those are already deleted. The episode created 17 character and location number. So that's how you can also perform mutations in GraphQL using REST assured Java automation. Okay, so there is not much difference between query and mutations. The only thing here you have to focus is converting into JSON body and giving the appropriate values. So after this, it's up to you, like how do you parse this JSON and how do you put validations. It's again same general API testing concepts. Okay, that's it guys. So I hope you got enough information about GraphQL, and I hope you enjoyed this complete topic, which is very trending, and definitely the scope and job market will grow on this area. Okay, thank you.